There's one other. Oh,
That
wow.
sounded official.
That is very official. Thank you for agreeing. And you guys can turn off your mics or cameras if you want to, but you also can chime in whenever you want. This is not a once all be all. I talk to my people every day who are working. So just feel like I'm your continued resource. You can still use me if you ever get stuck somewhere. Oh, okay. Can you see my screen? All is well.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so just yesterday I sent an email called Welcome to our UBAM team. It should have gone to your email that you signed up with, but it might have gone to like promotions tab or spam or something. So I did not expect you to read that before this meeting, but this is a reference point. I refer you back here a lot as you get going and if you get going. So the first thing I want to make sure that you know is about your climb period. I actually only joined before my party, I think like both of you, just for the best rewards. So best rewards and the commission. I definitely didn't really think I'd go further, and actually no one booked a party for my party easily. Like no one was like ready to go. But then I had this call with my team leader, and she showed me the 8-week climb period, and I love free things. I was a teacher, and we don't really get extra free things for doing work. You just kind of do extra work all the time. And so
You get thanked by giving extra work.
that's right. They're like, you're so great at this. Can you also do this? And can you also do this? Um, and so, anyways, when I saw this, I was just kind of intrigued, and I decided to reach out to some people and get my first parties booked and give it a little bit of a go. So I just wanted to show you this. This is attached in your welcome email. The climb flyer and the step up flyer is what I'm looking at right now. This is like no punishment if you don't do anything and lots of reward if you do something. So I did not earn all of my climb rewards, but I did earn, I think, like $125 extra in free books by the end of the first 8 weeks. And then I earned some UBAM prizes and some cash too. I started, I think maybe 6 weeks in, I got my first new teammate, and I was really skeptical and scared to share it before then, but I just caught this vision that it was doing something for my mindset and my world. So why not ask my hostesses if they wanted it? Kind of like, Sammy asked you, Stephanie, and I asked you, Tiffany, why not? Why, what's holding you back? And so anyways, you can read over this. I don't need to explain it to you, but basically it's like books, gifts, and cash for doing different things in your first 8 weeks. And I also have a 3 and a 2-year-old, but I think any kids ages love getting things at the doorstep that they can use. So it was really fun when like a new water bottle came, or all different prizes have come from UBM. So that's a fun thing for our family. This is something I'll talk to you more about as you get into things. Step up to leadership. Leadership was not something I ever considered. I just wanted to do this in my private little corner, and I was really like embarrassed that I was doing it until my second hostess was the mom of a son who was deaf. And they were really concerned about his vocabulary, and they were working with speech pathologists. She hosted a party, she earned the phonics set, and his vocabulary blew up. And I was like, you know what? This is not about me anymore. Like, this is not about me being satisfied or me getting free books. This is like, there's real needs. The world is really big. There are a lot of people who have real book needs. And I think as your kids grow up, you especially see like there's kids who don't like reading, and that will impact them. And so my mindset just shifted there, and I decided, you know what, maybe I would like to be a leader. And I made an 8.5% commission raise. So now on every book I sell, I make 37.5%, which is just really different than the 25%. The other 4% in there I'm going to tell you about later, but 25 plus 4% plus 8.5% as a leader is what I currently make. And then that's where UBM became really beneficial for my family versus the 25% was like just maybe paying $400 or $500 a month for like our groceries or something like that when I first started, which is still awesome and a big deal. But it's not where my real income came from. Okay, so back to this. You guys can read over this, but I wanted to make sure we go over 2 websites and then that you have your at your own pace training that's set up for you. So that's the last things we're gonna do. You have seen this website, I think. This is the e-commerce site. This is where people are shopping from your party right now. This is mine, so you both already learned how to set up an event. And so this is the link that you copied and pasted and gave to me. So then I was able, or Sammy, and we were able to put that in your party and people could shop from that. Um, this little down arrow, once you know it's here, it's really helpful. But before you know it's there, it's like, where do I see everyone's order? Who's ordered what? You're searching through your email. So this is where it all is in one nice consolidated spot. And this is where I update the hostess on their total. Um, I wanted to make sure that I think I sent you to save in your notes how to make a wish list. I 100% believe this is why my team has higher party sale averages than the normal team with UBAM. Because of the wish list. So do you remember the post in your party where your consultant like introduced herself? So me, Tiffany for yours, Sammy introduced herself at yours, Stephanie. But they like just share who's in their family, what their background is. And then if anyone wants to share about their family, they'll make them a personalized wish list. And that is just the most important thing. And it also really helps you get to know. You can just pick the party that they're attached to. It really helps you get to know the books. You guys, there's I think 3,000 books with Usborne Books and More. And I'm almost 4 years in and I still feel like I find surprises sometimes that I didn't know about. So it's okay. You're not supposed to be, the end all be all. People can do their own research, but it's also really overwhelming if you aren't sure if you want to partake in a Usborne Books and More party, and then you go on the website and you just see like 3,000 books. You're just like, I don't know where to start. But if you're able to be like, I have a fifth grader who loves being challenged or hates being challenged, but loves adventure stories, and I have a 4-year-old who loves ballerinas. Like, both of those children are not children in my home, so I might not be an expert on those books for them. So you just go to edit book details, and I just wanted to show you where to start for kids that you don't know the books for. This is one section I love over here called Learning from Home. So if you click here and then you click Learning Resources by Grade, you can start to see like, oh, okay. So I don't have a fifth grader, but here's some beginning fifth grade books. I could also look at the fourth grade books if he doesn't love being challenged, but he likes adventure. You can, yeah. So anyways, this is a great place to start. When you want to add something to their wish list, you just click this green star. And then I also, yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to figure it out, but middle grade fiction, you go age 9 to 11. This is where you can start getting to know. I would say like the chapter books were the hardest for me to get to know just because we were using the baby and toddler books all the time in my home. But then if you have someone who loves ballerinas or crocodiles or whatever it is, I simply use the search bar, like literally put in that word, use the search bar. And then here's one last thing I want to show you on this. Below it, it says specifications, and you can see what age range it's recommended for, and that's so helpful. If I have a teenager who loves ballerinas, there's some like older illustrated ballet stories, okay? But this one is for a 3-year-old, and I'll just click add to wish list. I typically try and add about $100 per child, and I start with the, mom, grandma, aunt's little description of the kid. But if they don't give me much, I also just add other books that we love in our home, that preschoolers are learning their ABCs and their 1, 2, 3s. So then you can just click view wish list, and here's the link that will send them. Okay, so now they have a place to start. They don't feel quite as overwhelmed. If they have 2 kids, I try to make it around $200. Sometimes I do more than that depending on how much they give me. They love dinosaurs and trucks and digging. It's like, okay, it gets out of hand quickly because the books are so good. So that's, I think, all I wanted to show you on here. I really don't use much else on here. But you can always ask me questions about that later. Okay. This is back office. So you should have got an email right after you purchased your kit of how to log into e-commerce and how to log into back office. The first thing that's so important is that you make sure your direct deposit is set up. Have you guys done that yet? Thumbs up.
Yep.
Thumbs up. Okay, good. So, because you guys get paid weekly if you're having parties weekly. And since you both already had this party, like you have commission waiting for you. So just make sure that you update your direct deposit and do that first thing. Okay. So this is what you show up like when you log in. This is what you show up as. I'm just going to explain some of these numbers to you, and then let's see if I can move this out of the way. Then we'll wrap up with the training. Okay, so on a typical month when I first started, I really just tried to sell at least $1,000 in sales. The reason for that is you get a 4% bonus, whether you're a brand new consultant or a seasoned leader, you get a 4% bonus on all your sales if you sell $1,000 in sales. So to me, I was like, okay, if I'm going to give this a 1-month trial just to see if it works for me, I'm going to try and sell $1,000. So for me, that looked like 5 to 6 parties. And I always train my team to make sure that they're double stacking their party nights. There's no reason. When I first started, when I booked a party, I'd be like, okay, I'm open Monday or Wednesday or Thursday. And people would be like, Thursday. So I had like a Monday, a Wednesday, a Thursday all over the calendar. And I was going nuts. It was not working for my family. I felt like I was working all the time. It's not a good way to do it. So if you want to skip that step, I mean, feel free to try it. But if you want to skip that step, I highly recommend just talking to your family and seeing, like for me, my husband knows I party on Wednesday nights. So he works with wood. He builds a lot of things. And so Wednesday nights he's in his workshop. Like that just works for us. So figure out what might work for you when your husband could help more with bedtime that night or whatever it looks like. Maybe Stephanie, your kids put themselves to bed at this point. I don't know how that works, but sounds like a dream. Oh no.
No.
I'm holding on. But anyways, so I probably have about 4 parties on my Wednesday nights. But when I first started, I just tried to book 2. So I circled all my Wednesday nights in February. I would put 8:30, 8:30, 8:30, 8:30, 8:30, 8:30. And then I would send my messages and I would try and make them pretty personal so I didn't feel like spammy. But I would see what needs I could meet in my friends' Facebook, my Facebook friend list. And I started booking some parties and got 2 at 8:30, 2 at 8:30. And that's where things started to happen.
Do you feel like you're ever having a hard time catching up with commenting if you're switching between multiple parties?
Yeah, that's totally a live and learn thing. I remember the first night I did 3 parties in the same night. Like one was at 8 p.m. and 2 were at 8:30. I remember telling my husband, I will never do that again. I couldn't keep up. And then the next week I did it again and it was a little less hard and it was a little less hard. It was just so time efficient for like family wise that I decided it was worth it to make it work. And so now my system is I don't try to keep up with comments. I actually just I ignore my notifications because you guys probably noticed your notifications were going nuts during your party.
Mm-hmm.
I ignore them completely and I just have 2 tabs up. This would be like Stephanie's party and Tiffany's party. I have 2 tabs up and then I just use the search bar and I search post 1. Then I go through and I reply to people who have commented on post 1. Do that on both parties. And I go at my own pace. They're watching videos. They're doing the games. Like they don't need me to be instant. So if I have an 8:30 party, I might not even start replying back to comments until 8:45. You just find what works best for you. But one thing I tell people all the time is there are no book emergencies. So this should not run your life. Like you should not feel like you have to respond back to a message right away. And that's something as you get into it, I teach you about just setting boundaries and I log on to Messenger to work on Messenger, but only at certain periods of the day. I'm not trying to cook dinner and give my kids a bath and respond to messages at the same time because I don't want to be on my phone all the time. So it's just kind of a live and learn thing. Okay. personal sales, this was in September. This is like a normal month. I just wanted to show you when that, like, October and November are like not so, and it's just not, a realistic view. February just started. So anyways, I try and sell 4,000 personally a month because I love making about $1,000 on the 25% base commission. To me, that just like is easy math, so it works out. The reason this is a little less than 1,000 is because one of the things I put in here was a fundraiser, which is super cool. We'll talk about that down the road, but on a fundraiser, you only make 10% commission or 17% commission, depending on which of the two that you run. So anyways, that's what that is. And then this is the money that I've made because I'm a leader in September. So you can see why it just like if I was just a consultant, this is great, this is nice, but why would I not want, like I'd be missing out on this part. So this is 8.5% of all of my people's sales until they become a team leader. Once they become a team leader, I earn from UBAM a little less because we have to talk a little less. We talk about different things, but they're a leader now themselves. I was not sure how I liked like direct sales in general. I stayed away from them. I had no clue how they really worked. But as a teacher, I think the setup is, it's like any business. If you're a manager over people, the company pays you more than the people you manage because you're doing the work to train them, to make sure that they know what they're doing. So I provide script and graphics for my people. I have these Zoom calls, and UBM wants to make sure that I'm paid for that. So I think that makes a lot of sense. I just want to make sure you heard, if you sell $1,000 in a month, you make that 4% bonus right away. So it's the beginning of February. So you still have like tons of time to do that even this month, especially with how well both of your parties went. You're not that far off from, you're not that many parties away from earning selling $1,000.
How many consultants do you have under you?
Like, I don't know. I have 9 leaders currently, 9 personal leaders with their own teams. And then you two, and Stephanie has a consultant who is in between her and I, but her consultant just joined as well, just a couple weeks ago. I think Sammy will be a team leader soon, but she's not quite yet. And I'll tell you how to become one, but they just made it really simple. Anyways, I have 9 leaders with their own teams, and then I have people like you guys who are my direct teammates. And so that's where that 8.5% comes from. But you can see.
And then what kind of support do you have as an executive team leader?
That's such a good question. Look, guys, I didn't even know that. If I click that central group number, which is like, central group is people who are not leaders yet. So it's me and people who are not leaders yet. I can actually see where that comes from. And I could see like, okay, in that month, it probably came from like 12 people. So, my team leader is named Camille. She's actually, I'm really thankful. We are an awesome line. Guys, I can't go back because she has been with UBAM for 17 years. So I talk to Camille every single week on the phone. We don't chat as much in Messenger just because of who she is and who we are. Like, I talk to my leaders on the phone sometimes, but I only talk to Camille, it seems like, on the phone. I can text her if I want to, but we just mostly talk once a week on the phone. I still have questions all the time, and she is training me up and pouring into me. So we have a really connected team who shares a lot of things. Camille and I do a lot of trainings together and things like that. But on top of that, even if you didn't join an awesome team with Usborne Books and More, our home office is super supportive. So they've provided this on the left side here called training. And if you click that, it just leads you right to our UBAM University, which has like an online training platform. So you can really learn like what our team stands for as far as serving others. And anyways, you can learn that right here. And I want to just make sure I show you this really quick. These are attached in your email. Okay, so right here, tell me if your links don't work. Okay, because the links on my practice email don't work, but I think I updated yours. I'm a teacher, so I like coloring in things, right? But if you're more like list maker, these are the exact same things. You can choose which one you use. I printed out this one and I like colored things as I did them, but look, they match up. It says, have a lunch party. You both can color that one in. Call your leader. You both can color that one in because you've talked to me. On this one, you would just check mark those two things. What I love about this one though, is if you use it virtually, you can just click on the links and it will take you to whatever training or whatever it's talking about. So yeah, that's really nice too. So I kind of used them both. This one was printed. This one I used online when I got started, just so I could click the links. And then I think, Stephanie, I'll have to check and see if you want to be, but I think I added you both to our Book Nation team page, which is run by Camille Steiner, who is my direct leader, and she helps all of us on our team. But this is where you can ask questions if I'm being slow in Messenger. I think I told you guys, like I set boundaries with Messenger. I only check it at certain times. And so if I'm ever being slow and you need an immediate answer, you can log on to Book Nation, type your question. There are people who have been working with UBAM for 27 years, and there are people who joined yesterday. So you get such an array of information. But anyway, this is our team page. Okay, I'm going to wrap up. Let me show you a couple more things on here. Stephanie, hopefully you found that out of stock list you were looking for earlier today. But if you go to Business Essentials, there are just some really helpful things here, especially if somebody does need a book that's out of stock. I use that as a huge booking incentive. So let's say somebody really wanted, what's a popular one? I mean, the Hey Jack books are perfect beginning chapter books. So lots of 5 and 6-year-old mamas love these books. So I would write them down in my calendar. I'm nothing fancy. I still use a paper calendar. It's kind of messy. You might be way more organized than me, so you do what works for you. But I'll literally write on the date 3/7. Was it 3/17? Yeah, 3/17. I'll write that person's name and I'll say, tell Taylor, hey, Jack is back, or whatever. And I'll just message them and be like, hey, Taylor, I just wanted you to know, hey, Jack is back in stock. Do you want to place an order, or would you like to host a party and earn it for free? The way that we can offer incentives for people to host a party is because we get a section that's 65% off. And I'll make sure you both understand that tomorrow when we close out your parties and you claim your free books. But if I offer somebody $20 in free books, that costs me $7 because we get it at 65% off. And so it's always worth it to offer an extra incentive when you're looking to book some Facebook gatherings. I now call them that. I feel like parties can turn people off, but I call them Facebook gatherings. I do think they're different because we personally invite people, and then we just try and make it a really like connection, community like event where we're having fun versus just blasting a page with posts. So anyways, on here, the other place I look a lot is this documents and tools. Sometimes people might order on your website and it might not go under the link. Okay, so if somebody just orders like, or for me, for you, if you do 2 parties on the same night and you accidentally switch the links, a wrong order might go to a wrong party. You have to meet these requirements, but you can switch that order to the right link as long as you catch it in time. Okay, so that's something to definitely note. And then I think we're just going to talk about other things as you get into it. There's really no reason to talk about things before you need them. But if somebody gets a missing or damaged book from your parties, you text me or me and Sammy, and you say, hey, this book is arrived at my friend's house and it has a tear. We just put that in and they take care of it. They send them a new copy, make it super simple. So anyways, this page is all about you. Okay, and then the very last thing, just because obviously you've heard from me, I love rewards. Last year I got to take my whole family to Hawaii. I'm not like the top of this company, and I earned Hawaii for both me and my husband, and they give us extra cash to pay for food and flights, and that paid for our daughter as well, and our son was under 2. So we took everyone to Hawaii, which is very expensive. last summer, just this past summer. And now we're going to Bahamas this summer, which is crazy. So UBAM makes these trips super attainable for consultants all the way through senior directors, which would be Camille. They do not make it impossible. So anyways, we'll find out in June where the next trip is to. Sometimes it's Europe, sometimes it's Alaska. I mean, with COVID, I feel like they've had to limit, like, we're probably not going to another country, but who knows? And then the last part of the reward system I want to make sure that you know about. Oh, my image isn't loading. Every month that you sell $1,000, you make that 4% bonus, but you also earn HOC1, which is Home Office Challenge 1. This, if you sell $1,000 in a month, is always like a smaller prize, like maybe a new set of pens or something for your office or a coffee mug or whatever. If you sell $2,000 and have one new teammate, you get a little bit bigger prize. Last month in January, it was $200 in free books. So if you sold $2,000 and had one new teammate, you got $200 in free books. So that's how my shelves have expanded, is just through earning them for free. And then this is $3,000 and having two teammates, you earn the bigger prize. So they change every single month, and usually they show up right here. But you can also see them. We get one email a week from UBAM. My first year with UBAM, I totally ignored them because I'm not an organized person. So emails are really overwhelming to me. But now I read them every week because they share really valuable information, and people knew things that I didn't know. And it's always in that weekly Wednesday email. So anyways, what's today? Saturday. If you joined before Wednesday, maybe you got Wednesday's email. But if not, you'll get this coming one. And that's where you can see like what the Home Office Challenge prizes are and things like that. Okay. We're going to go ahead and end this, and we're going to talk separately if you have questions, just to respect your time. But thank you for taking time out of your afternoon. Hopefully you made a list of questions to ask, and just feel free to go ahead and personal message me from those. Your assignments, if I can be a teacher for a second, are just to make sure that your direct deposit is set up so you get your income. And then your next step, if you did want to do anything with UBAM, is just try and pencil in 2 people for 7 to 8 days out. Saturdays, obviously hard, because we want to party Sunday night through Thursday night. We really don't party on Friday or Saturday night, even though I think some probably did through COVID. Like, people weren't going anywhere, so maybe it worked out. But I would say if you look at your February calendar, like the 14th. Oh, that's Valentine's Day. Monday the 14th might not be the best night to party, but you could do Sunday the 13th or, Tuesday or Wednesday that week. If you want to give it a shot, really try to work on 2 people for that same night. That is the best way to get a taste of it, to have 2 parties on the same night. It might sound overwhelming, but it's really not. You can coach them at the same speed, and you can schedule their post at the same time, and it just will save you a lot of time. So we will talk. Okay, you guys, have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Teleport him to you, Mikey.